Well, the history of Leep Hay Grain goes back to about 1960, probably, when my dad rented a farm close to where Costco and Target is right now. And we were there for a couple of years and then had the opportunity to move over here to the Four Corners place, a 240-acre rented farm, and this is where we began our farming career. I was just a youngster then, and from there forward we started farming. And as my brother Greg and I grew up and got to the point where we could team up with my dad, we began renting some additional land around the valley, and over time have been able to grow that and kind of got into the hay business, got into the big balers and trucking, and it just sort of kept growing from there. So that's kind of how we got started, and today we're farming, a fair amount of land. The thing that I enjoy most about what we do is having our kids involved. I like the routine of it. I like the fact that it's different every year in many ways too, because the weather's always different, the markets are different, and it's always one thing or another that we have to contend with. There's a lot of good memories of expanding our operation, and a few that aren't so good. I think working with family is always, there's a huge blessing, but it also can be challenging at times because we all have a little bit different spin on how things should go. We all bring something different to the table. I've really found the challenge of building a business to be extremely gratifying. We started out with nothing to speak of, and we're able to slowly over the years, with a lot of hard work and God's blessing, which I certainly don't want to leave out because we couldn't have done anything without that. To be able to do it and to do it together as a family has been just a huge blessing, and it always is going to come with some challenges. Welcome to our world. It's filled with, the next thing. One of the biggest challenges that we face is just the urban sprawl. There's just huge demand for our land here in the Gallatin Valley, and the price of land is increasingly expensive. Another thing that's starting to become a bigger and bigger thing is water. The labor thing, I think everybody struggles with that in our valley. It's an interesting area to farm in. Traffic for us is a big pain because we have to move around a lot. The agricultural organizations that I have worked with, the Conservation District is a big one. I've been on that. I think this is my 38th year of service on the Conservation District, and I've enjoyed that immensely, and have worked with great people and have learned from them, and I hope they've learned a little bit from me along the way. I served on the local water quality district for a number of years as well. So those are kind of the main ones. I think it's important to find ways to give back. I think that's why it's important to be involved. We all bring something to the table with our experience and knowledge, and we are a community. We need to work together and contribute and support each other, and I think any way that we can do that, we should look for those opportunities. I would say agriculture changed probably because it's so much more global than it used to be. It used to be much more local, depending on how the crops grew in your area. The markets would move one way or the other, but now it seems like it's a global market. What happens in Ukraine or the Red Sea impacts prices here in the United States. The things I appreciate most about my neighbors and community, we have an awesome community. We're part of a wonderful church community, wonderful friends. Our neighbors, we try to help out one another the most we can. In some respects, we're competitors, so we have to still, go and try to do our best to compete, but we're still neighborly and try to cooperate. The opportunities for a young person are, you have to be passionate. There's no question about it, because it's a difficult entry unless you have a movie star for an uncle, or maybe an NBA player, or somebody else you're related to that's got a lot of money, or you're born into it, or marry it, or whatever. But it's tough. But it can be done, and I've seen it done, and I know a couple families that have done it, and it's just something where you need to be totally dedicated, all in, and grow into business, not go into business. I would say the key to success is the ability to really buckle down and work hard and really pour yourself into something and be willing to do that. I think working with people, it takes a team of people to be successful in agriculture, and you have to be willing enough and humble enough to work with those folks and take their advice.